Hello, good day. My name is Igho Jereton-Mariere. I am the business owner and CEO of Digitech Info Technologies Hub and Digital Gadgets I.T Solutions. Digitech Info Technologies Hub started in 2014, precisely August 2014. I would say, first of all, it's, will I say congenital? Because I come from a family of teachers. My dad was a journalist and a teacher as well. My mom was also a teacher of history. So I would say, having come from a family background of teachers, I naturally just loved to teach. And people also tell me whenever I teach them that I have a skill to be able to communicate knowledge. So I guess that's what inspires me as well. And then I also consider myself to be a handyman. I've developed several skills in the area of technology and technology installation, meaning solar, CCTV, electric fence, and many of those things. And I kind of pick up those skills very easily. And I'm also able to teach others quite easily as well, in such a way that it becomes almost picture perfect whenever they are on their own and they want to do or carry out whatever I teach them. So I want to say, I guess it's congenital, it came in the genes, and I learned from my parents. So that's what inspires me. Okay, I opened my first company in 2008. That was when I registered my first company. So I want to presume that that's how long I've been a CEO, since 2008. What challenges me to venture into the tech space is because at the time I started, there were not so many training institutions that were involved in training in tech. And I found myself training older people. I'm talking about some men in their 50s in the Ministry of Health then. And then the late Chief Judge of Bayelsa State, I was an ICT trainer, you know. And then the other judge too that was with her, two females, I was the ICT trainer. So I found out that there was a gap between ICT training and the populace. And partnering with a very dear friend of mine who also studied computer science in school, we decided to open Digitech. So that's what challenged me to open Digitech. Yeah. Well, there are several challenging areas of being in Nigeria. Number one, you have the challenge of power. Okay, that's a very nice way because the amount of money you gain in profits, you spend a lot of it trying to provide power. And I think that's where part of my business comes in because we provide solar. And so this building itself is wired and powered by solar as we speak. So that's one. Then the challenge of multiple taxations. Something as easy as signage itself, we have like 3 or 4 agencies that collect signage fee. I think that should be dealt with. Of course, we also have to talk about the challenge of security. Sometimes we have to see ourselves close much earlier than we would have, simply because of security. And then the last part is, of course, the challenge of skilled manpower. We have a situation where the skilled manpower we need is not readily available, and so when we need it. So we have to find ourselves training the manpower. And sometimes just immediately after they have received the kind of training that we adjudge to be the best, they are on their way out. So these are our challenges. Who do I look up to in the industry? Well, there are a lot. Let me just say, because I am in several arms in tech, so different arms have several persons I look up to in the industry. If I just pick an area, maybe say data analysis, there's a lady, Igho, she's good. I follow her a lot, and she's able to communicate so simply. I've learned a lot about teaching and training from her. Again, if I have to go through all the people I look up to in the industry, time will fail me. But when it comes to inspiration and having the boosts and the zeal and the staying power, I look up to Cosmos Maduka. Sir Cosmos Maduka is such a great man that I look up to, among other people that I also look up to too. Currently, I'm the skill acquisition and entrepreneurial development trainer for NYSC Bayelsa State. A partnership that we've had for this year, making a decade now, since 2015. We've partnered with them. I've partnered with PIND, that's the new partnership in Niger Delta. I've partnered with EDP, Enterprise Development Center. I've had a couple of partnerships, yes. Well, that is a very tough question because, you know, I just kind of want to say I pick a little from everybody. You know, some persons, before I ventured into entrepreneurship, I worked in a bank and I had a branch manager that was a little bit collaborative. He would want to pose a question to say, this is a problem, how do we solve it? And he would pick the brains of each and every one there and then come to a consensus and say, okay, based on the collective intelligence, this is the way I think, or the shortest path forward. You know, so a shout out to Satoni Akono. There are several other people that, like I said, have picked a little bit of their entrepreneurial or their management style. So I can't just zero down on one person and say, this is who I've picked some from. But I think that I kind of mirrored his pattern to a large extent, yes. Well, I want to say to the young people that it's tougher now, but also easier now. Why I say it's tougher now is because what it will have taken you to be able to buy equipment, to be able to start up a business, say 10, 15 years ago, is it was over 100% now. Okay, what it will have costed you to be able to purchase those items. But it's easier now because the spectrum of entrepreneurship is now wider. We are in the days of content creation. We are in the days of artificial intelligence. You know, so the ability to be able to do remote jobs as well can enable you, if you know what you're doing and if you have the staying power, can enable you to earn in foreign currencies, and that can ease up your job. You know, so it's tougher now to an extent that it will cost you a lot more money than it will have costed then to start up, but it's easier now because the spectrum of business since the advent of COVID-19 has expanded. I hope you understand. How I bounce back from a setback typically is understanding my big why. Why am I into what I'm doing? And understanding also that the most important person in this business is me. Without my presence, the business would only succeed for a while and fold up. And so you have to have that big why. Why am I doing what I'm doing? You know, that number one why is so important. And also be conscious that you are enough. You know, you have what others need, and you can deliver it at a relatively better value than others can, and you have better clarity than others have. It's not my business to know what others are doing. It's my business to know how to improve what it is that I'm doing relative to where I was yesterday. And of course, benchmarking is important. You need to know who the best is in the industry. But you also have to turn the searchlight and the beam light on yourself so that you can relatively be better tomorrow than you were today. You know, so I bounced back from a setback because I've been robbed several times. Okay, I've been robbed like 4 good times. I've lost a whole lot of money in business, but each time I tell myself, you know what, it's just an experience. You know, people walk on the road and they lose money. People have accidents and they lose their health for a while, and they come back up again. Fire can burn all their belongings, and they come back up again. So I give that encouragement to myself as well. And I tell myself failure is not an option. I can never give up. So that's my encouragement to you out there. How I stay relevant in the industry is by constant learning. You know, the tech industry is a very vast world. And every time I'm always doing one course or the other, one program or the other. Even in the solar technology installation industry, solar CCTV, right now we have cameras that are 360 solar-powered cameras. We have the advent of lithium batteries now. We have the advent of you know, wind turbines, and we now have electric vehicles, you know, that are trending right now. So I'm in an industry that's ever evolving. All right, it's ever evolving. So I stay abreast by constantly taking one program or the other, doing one master's and one certification on the other, and also trying to put what I learned into quick application. But it's not just enough to say you now know, you also have to put what you learn into quick application. That's how you stay afloat in the industry. To everyone out there is that you have to build perseverance. You have to have a lot of long suffering. That means that you have to be able to take some little bit of personal damage. You understand? Just a little bit of personal damage. You also have to have a can-do spirit. Okay? You have to have a lot of self-confidence in what you are about to do and in what you are doing. And of course, have the ability to stick to what you're doing. I know some people would love to call themselves serial entrepreneurs because they open one business today, another one tomorrow, another one next tomorrow. That may not be a very perfect strategy. So I will just say stick to 1 or 2 lines of industry and just flow through. And always aspire to be better tomorrow than you were today. So that's my little advice to you. Thank you very much. I am Igho Jereton-Mariere, the CEO of Digital Infotech Hub and Digital Gadgets I.T Solutions. Keep watching UTVAfrica.